Okay, so I think this is working. I'm working with a new mic, so hopefully this works. So Richard, this meeting is just for you. I'm just recording this instead of having you jump on, so that way you can reference this whenever you need to. I'm going to be going over some of the reasons why I need you there at 2 o'clock. What we're going to go over here is going to be what I would be doing on a daily basis. So this meeting will be a while. Um, and then just kind of go over what the numbers are going to tell you. I'm also going to show you what your quarterly numbers look like for this year, and it's going to show you why I'm so concerned. I think when you're looking at the numbers based on how many students you have, and that's actually a very small part of managing a school, a very, very small part. If you just manage based on what you're seeing right now, you're doomed for failure. It's like looking, at your steering wheel and trying to drive a car. You can't. You have to be able to see where you've been and know where you're going in order for you to navigate effectively. So I'm going to show you how we navigate a school and the things you can do. And I take some responsibility for this because, I take a lot of this as just common sense for me, just because I've been doing it for 20 some years. And so I failed to teach you, but this is going to be an in-depth explanation to what you should be doing when you're in there at 2. This stuff requires your 100% attention. And right now it's even more so important because we're on a downward track. And you can see that over here. You can see as of August, we've been steadily decreasing. And then this last month, we had this little bit of a dip. I mean, kind of like a sharp dip. Like, here we have a sharp uptick. Here we're getting a sharper dip. Come May, this is going to drop even further. And then in the summer months, I predict we're going to be right around this mark right here. So that's huge, and it's a big deal, and we need to focus on it so we can fix it. Getting there at 2 is mandatory. When we originally started the management position, 2 o'clock was originally on what we were talking about. You had expressed some concerns because the kids were at home, and I completely get that. So we said 3 o'clock, just to kind of accommodate you a little bit. But now 3 o'clock has turned into 3:15, and now has turned into 3:30. You cannot manage a school getting there at 3:30. It's just not. You can't do it, especially when you're getting in at 3:30. Then I see you're leaving at about 8:30, and I believe you're scheduled between 9 and 9:30. So it's sending out a couple bombs is just not going to cut it. And so I need you there at 2. And if you can't be there at 2, I need you to let me know, because then I need to change things. So here's what I would do when you first come in. This is, obviously you're going to pull up the dashboard. This is going to show you lots of things, and if you pay attention, you look at those numbers, you'll be able to see kind of what is concerning. Right now, when I first look at the numbers, I don't even look at this stuff too much. I look at this. This is where my attendance is. So I'm looking at these numbers and saying, hey, I have 87 low attending students. It's a little high, but students 1+ weeks is 28. Or that's like an accumulation of like everybody. But 1 to 2 weeks is 19. That's obviously going to be a little bit higher. But 2 to 4, we have 8 people, and then students, 4+ weeks, 1. I know you did 4 bombs on Monday for missing in actions, which is a good start. But the amount of bombs that you do should equal the amount that is in this category right here. So this first initial 1 to 2 weeks, these are just, hey, I miss yous. Hey, Anika. Well, of course, Anika was 4+ weeks, but it's 1 to 2. It should be, hey, Haven't seen you in a week. I hope everything's fine. I hope you're healthy. In this list, you should also be looking at, you can go through the list. The heck was that? You can go through this list and you can kind of be like, okay, well, Ethan Baker, Beth Biddle, whatever. You can be like, okay, well, this person I know is on vacation. They're on vacation. Okay, so we don't have to do those. What I would do is if someone's on vacation, I would click on them. Like say Beth's on vacation, I would make a note right here, a note, and say, hey, this is just a general note. Hey, Beth is on vacation until this date, and then say it changes. So that way, when I'm looking at it, or when you go back to it, when you're looking through your notes, when you pull up the account, you can look over here and see the notes. Like, oh, okay, yeah, I got that. Or they're on vacation. I get it. But anyways, that's the first thing that I look at. I just want to see what is the strength of the school, and I get that from here. This will tell you a lot. If you have a lot of absences, 1 to 2 weeks, you're gonna have some, but this is really just that first line of defense, just so you can make sure that people are feeling missed. It's very important that you're on the pulse of that. If like I said, if somebody gives us notice that they're on vacation and you send a, hey, where have you been? That just makes us look stupid. It looks foolish. So this is where I was talking about that paying attention to detail. You have to listen, make notes. There is no such thing as a program that will enable you to do all of these things. It just requires a little bit of memory. So this category, the 2 to 4 weeks, these are the emails. These are okay, these people are really in jeopardy. These people, and if they're on 2 to 4 weeks and they shouldn't be, then you'll know, like, okay, for some reason, Topher has been 2 to 4 weeks. He really shouldn't be charged. We talked about him not being charged, so we want to make sure that since he's only coming so sporadically, that we're going to his memberships and we're making sure, like, he's due to be charged again on May 1st. This is one of those instances where we all had talked about Topher not being charged, and that has not been done. So as of May 1st, he's going to be charged again, and that's an issue. I'm shutting this off so that doesn't happen. But yeah, so that's one issue that I just caught right there. So so that missing in action, perfect example, that missing in action list will enable you to catch things that that you shouldn't miss. It enables us to not charge people that shouldn't be charged, and enables us to keep people interested. If we send out 19 bombs today to students to say, hey, we miss you, just like you sent one on Monday to Anika, Anika showed up. So one bomb got her back in. Fantastic. That's what it's supposed to do. But also a sent bomb with wrong information in it when they've told us why they're gone, a broken ankle, and we send them a bomb could have the exact opposite effect. They could be like, you guys aren't paying attention, you guys don't care about me, and then they leave, and that leaves a nasty taste in their mouth. So we want to make sure that we're on top of that, but we pay attention to the details. 2 to 4 weeks is the emails. This is a little more serious. Hey, I'd be sending out 8 emails today, or look in there and see who needs emails. Send out those 8 emails and say, hey, listen, I'm really sorry that, or hey, not really sorry, but hey, we're really missing you, really concerned. I haven't seen you here in 14 plus days or 16 days. And the way you can look at the days, by the way, any report that you pull up, like notice it just says last attended here. You could just be like, hey, I haven't seen you since April 3rd. I haven't seen you since April 4th, or whatever. But if you want to see the days, you can go up here to the edit report settings, and then down here in this columns, these are all the information over here. You'll see that there is a days since attended. You can click here and then hit refresh report, and then it'll give you right here, it'll say days since attended. And so that way you can be like, hey, I haven't seen you in the last 22 days. I just want to make sure that you're okay. I would love to get you back in, and if there's anything that I can do to help you, if you had any concerns with anything, please let me know, because I really value you and your family as a student, and I really want to make you guys happy. If you're being discouraged or whatever, just let me know. I'd be more than happy to work with you. I can set up some time where either myself or one of my staff can work with you one-on-one. Just let me know. Or if you want to discontinue, let me know, so that way you're not charged. So what we're doing at this, especially once it gets past this 20, I do 21 days and up, I'm looking for what I call a final disposition on these students. Where are they? What are they doing? And why are they not in? And if I need to cancel them, I want to cancel them before they're auto drafted again. And so that's what I'm looking for with these 4 students. So, one email goes to these guys. Simple. Tiana. There you go. So we're just trying to get these people back in, or find out what's going on with them. So a written email needs to go out, because parents will most likely respond to a written email. That first bomb for that 1 to 2 weeks missing, that first bomb goes out to students that are 1 foot out the door, that just kind of like are thinking, I'm just not motivated. Getting in that little note from you will help motivate them, okay, and then get them back in. Then once they're back in, we don't forget about them. We're like, okay, good, they're in, okay, whatever. Those students are now on kind of like what I call the red alerts. Is if they're missing an entire week or 2 weeks, almost 2 weeks, they're on their way out, and there's a reason for it. So we have to be on them, give them lots of attention, make sure that they're focused. You can, if you wanted to, every day come in here and, I'm sorry, wrong one. Come in here for these 19 people and just kind of make a mental note. These are people. So when we see them in class, you can have, Shelby or Lance. If Shelby has a better rapport with one of the students, or if Lance has a better rapport, or you, just make it Naomi gets back in, and you're like, hey, I really missed you. I'm so super glad you're here. While you're teaching the class, you're doing something, and be like, oh, no, Naomi, that was awesome. Way to go. So now she's feeling valued. Go up to the parent and be like, hey, we really miss seeing you in here. Thank you guys for coming back. Or, I'm super happy you guys are back. What you guys been doing? Is everything all right? And then sometimes the parents will give you their feedback. So that'll help you just kind of keep track of your missing in actions. You can get a ton of students in the door, but if these students are on their way out, then that is a glaring hole. And the more you're on track of this, the better you will be. And I know like this seems like a lot. Typically you're going to have about 10% of your school on a red alert. This is a little higher than 10%. So that means that we're not keeping up with this a little bit. So where it's 4+ weeks, these students must have a final disposition. So Alec Jacobs, I'm assuming this guy is just not checking in, and there's probably a reason why he's not checking in. I don't know why. I have no clue. He should be able to check in. Maybe it's the classes that he's unable to do. But he should be able to check in. Let me look here. He's on hold. Okay, so he's on hold. He paid April 1st. Due date is May 1st. Yeah, something's up with this. I don't know what this is. PL payments. April 1st. March 1st. So he paid and then went on vacation. I don't know. I'll look into that because that's another one. But we should, if there's somebody on the 4+ weeks, we need to be giving them one last communication, like, hey, I just shut out your account. I haven't seen you in 4 weeks. Please let us know if there's something that we can do. I'd love to get you back in. Just let us know if you want us to work with you one-on-one. But as of now, I close out your account so you're not charged anymore. And that's kind of how I'd handle those 4+ weeks. So that is, when you first get in, as you can tell, I don't know what time I started this recording, but as you can tell, that's just the missing in action. That missing in action, this should take you almost probably a half hour or so to really complete. Again, I'm basing this on about 10% of the school being on missing in action. The primaries are this 1 to 2 weeks. Secondaries, which, instead of sending out just 4 bombs, right now, if I walked in there, I would be sending out 19. I would assume that I had to send 19, go through the list, pare it down if I had to. I know what these people are doing, so I would probably have about 14, 15 bombs that I would be sending out right now. When you send out those, they come back. That prevents this number from getting high, the 2 to 4 weeks. These, I'm sending out the emails. I'm sending out 8 emails, or pare it down, so you know what's going on with those 8 people. And then these, I'm canceling out. I'm taking care of these today. Canceling this person out, making sure that they're not being charged anymore. And I make sure I put that in the email, anymore, because I want to make sure that they know that they're no longer going to be charged. But people have to let us know that they're quitting, and if not, and they're charged, we're not responsible for it. However, if they want to come back, I will credit them their month because they've paid for it. So that's what this is, and so that's like an everyday process. So Monday you come in, you send out 19 emails. You come in on Tuesday, well, you sent out most of these emails before, and you can do this just by clicking on that day since attended, refresh, and so that all these 7, 8, 9, 11, and 13 days have already been emailed. Have already been bombed. When you come in next Tuesday, or when you come in Tuesday, tomorrow, or right now it's Thursday, when you come in Thursday, you're only having to bomb those 7s, because you've already done the 7s today, which are tomorrow going to be 8s. So I'd have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I'd have 11 to do instead of 19. So, you just kind of go through and you just make sure that these people are contacted. They're only contacted when they're on this list once. Hopefully that makes sense. It should make sense. And then the people on the 2 to 4 weeks, again, here, days since attended, boom. Same thing. If I've emailed everybody on here, tomorrow when I come in, I only have to email the person that's at 14 days. That's it. So that's why Monday is extremely important, because Monday you're tackling all of these people. By the end of the week, you should be seeing several people that are coming in from your missing in action. If you stay on top of this, I promise you it will drop down. You'll drop down and you'll realize that your retention rate will start to go up. And that's important, because one of the things that is concerning me about the school is your retention ratio. If someone just handed me a paper with the numbers that I have from Franklin, if someone handed me a paper and said, tell me what the nature of the school is, I would say it would be closed within a year, because your retention ratio, and it's not even hitting summer yet, is low. It's way low, 95, and then there's a month where it hits 90%. You lost 10% in March. That's huge. So staying on top of this will fix that. I cannot stress this enough. This is important, okay? So moving on, as a matter of fact, let me just show you your numbers, because here they are. Now, I do have to give a grain of salt with these numbers, because some of them just look wrong, which means there's some processes that are not being followed. And I'll explain those as we go through them. So what I'm keeping track of is I want to know appointments, intros, trials, enrollments, Cancellations, freezes, and freezes are people coming back. Like they gave you a return date. These are people when they fill out that form, they would go here. I don't have any of those forms, so I just left it blank. I just put them in as cancellations. And then percentage of intros from appointments, percentage of trials from intros, percentage of enrollments from appointments, percentage of enrollments from trials, active student counts, paying members, total tuition. And really, this is the only numbers that you're really keeping track of right now. And that's, this is what I was going to end up showing you, but we need to focus on it now. Student average, revenue by program. I have a separate list for that, and I'll do that later, but this isn't as important. This is mainly for me for payroll hours. Students per program, retention percentage or the attrition rate, attrition percentage. I focus on retention. I like to focus on what we have, not what we're losing. It's just a philosophy. Lost revenue by program. Again, that's something that I'm looking at when I look at if I'm going to keep a program or not, like Hyper. I look at how much I'm paying out in payroll, how much is coming in, and I see that that program is costing me, $320 per month. So that would be lost revenue by program. Hyper would be a negative 320, and that means I need to cancel it. Jiu-Jitsu is on that chopping block too, because I'm making no money from Jiu-Jitsu and I'm paying Lance to be there even when no one shows up. When no one shows up, I still pay him for that hour because I feel that it's unfair to schedule him and not pay him when no one shows up. So that is going to be on the chopping block. And then lost revenue totals. So each month, this is the total. I look at this is very seriously because lost revenue should be positive. I should have a plus, a surplus every month, but every month I'm losing money. Now this is accumulative, which means that January I lost $213. February I lost $534 plus $213 because these people didn't come back, so I lost that. In March I lost $1,600 plus $500 plus $200. And in April, I lost this, plus this, plus this, plus this. It's a total of $3,111 and some odd cents, which is a lot. So I am now losing $3,000 a month, which is irritating. And then this, on a daily basis, I just go through and just change these numbers. So pretty much at the end of the month, I would add these in here just so I can see where I need to be. And you should see a trend at the end of the month. This should be high, this should be lower, this should be lower, this should be lower. And then it should stable out around a certain amount. And then you get a percentage of missing in actions based on your student count right here, right? So 23 missing in actions, you divide that by 165 and you get this, a percentage. And right now it's pretty high. So I would be looking at this number for a school of 230. Right now we want to be about 16, 17. That's, kind of where we want to be, which is a little high. So, which just shows you that we have an issue with retaining students. And you can see that here. So our retention ratio. So these are your numbers. Over here, you'll see this report number. This sheet really isn't for you. This sheet's for me. I just did this so I can show you at a glance what your numbers are and why I am so concerned with these. This one right here is the most concerning. This right here tells me that we are in trouble. The retention ratio should be about 97, 98%. If the school is struggling, maybe 97. But when we're sinking like this, losing 5% of your school, losing anything more than 4% is where I classify as being an endangered school. January and February, we're losing 5%. That's concerning. But then in March we lost 10% of our school, just like that. In 1 month, 10% of our school, which is a lot. And then April, seeing a 6% drop. This is why I'm so concerned. Because if we continue on this trend, by the end of the year, we're going to be in a very bad place. we'll be well below 100 at that point. And especially with what I'm projecting for, for May is when we start seeing our summer drops. And so we're just going to brace for that. And if we're already showing these numbers throughout the beginning of the year, that means people are just waiting for an opportunity to leave. Something's not going right. And I have a feeling it has a lot to do with what's up here. So over here, I went through and I looked up your stats, how many appointments you had for the month, intros, trials, enrollments, and then cancellations. I just looked up these numbers. Like I said, take them with a grain of salt because I am assuming that some of them may be a little wrong, but when you see them, it's going to show you a trend. And that's what I'm looking for. I'm not looking at, well, I want exact numbers. It's going to help you be more accurate, more focused. But even if they're off a little bit, then it'll still show you a trend. So in January, first things first, January's numbers are always skewed. Always, always, always. Because what you have is people coming in at the end of December saying, hey, I want to do a trial. And so we just say, okay, yeah, just come in and do the trial. I'm not going to charge you for anything until the beginning of the year. And so that's why January's numbers are so skewed. We had a total of 7 appointments, 6 intros. That means from here, and this is on report number 1. I'll show you where these are in a second. A total of 7 appointments, people that scheduled an intro. 6 of them showed up, and out of 6 people that did intros, we had 10 come and do the trials. Like I said, these are skewed because it's either fall over from the previous month, or this could be somebody who contacted us in the summer and then now wants to do it here. So there's always some skewing with some numbers. And you'll see that once you go over these reports in detail. And then you have enrollments. You had 7 enrollments, 9 cancellations. We had a net loss of 2 students that month. But again, like I said, it's skewed because if you look over here, we had a net gain of 3. So some people came back that were not involved in this trial and enrollment process. Probably with these freezes, that's probably what happened. Someone froze in December and then came back. So anyway, I digress. It'll give you percentages. I have these automatically calculated so they can give you a percentage of where your numbers are. Like I said, January is skewed. February, you start looking in. You had 8 appointments. 6 people did intros from those 8 appointments. Out of those 6 people, 4 people did a trial, and then out of those 4 people, you had 5 enrollments, which is, like I said, it's skewed. Mainly because it's still rebounding from February. You probably did 10 trials, 7 people signed up, but at the end of the month you had a trial or 2 sign up in February instead of January. So that's what's happening there. But again, it just shows a path. That's all it is. So this is high, but I can see that you had 70% here and 125% here. Average them out, you're at 90% in each one, or you're good. It's totally fine. 95%. That's great. Now here's where it starts to get funky. Right here. March. Killed us. I have no clue what's going on in March. March is when we really started feeling some pain. This was last month. This is the month that scares the hell out of me. You had 11 appointments, but only 6 intros showed up. This is scary because those 6 intros that showed up, it's either they're not being checked in or they're not showing up. And that means you have 5 people that could have been contacted to get back in. So that's one of those things that this number tells me. Hey, all of these, you could have contacted the person, didn't show up. 2 people didn't show up. 5 people didn't show up. 5, 6, 7, 8 people. 8 people you could have contacted, and maybe they would have showed up. Out of those 6 intros, 5 did trials. And then out of 5 trials, you only had 2 enrollments. So this is telling me that somewhere in this trial process, we only had 2 people enroll off of those. That means those trials are now not being shown any attention, and they're not following through. These are bombs. These are emails. These are just in classes sticking with them. Hey, how you guys doing? You guys enjoying class? This is touching base with the parents. When they walk in, they're sitting down, they're watching their kids. You have Lance or Shelby teaching the class. This is when you're over there talking with the parents. Hey, how are they enjoying classes? Oh, we really, really enjoy having them in here. They're super awesome, super focused. We're working on this with them. I know they're going to be really great at this. If you have any questions, just give me a call. We'd love to answer anything that you guys have. I want to walk you through this starting process. That's how you're kind of rubbing elbows to get those numbers up. But I had 17 cancel, and I'll show you where I get these numbers. Like I said, some of them are skewed, but this is the trend. If you notice, 9, 10, 17, 10. This is your problem, right higher. This is bad. And so when you see that number, that freaks me out, because it shouldn't be that high. From here, April, this is where I can tell numbers are not being added in correctly. People are not getting checked in. You had 8 appointments. You had 1 intro out of those 8 appointments, which means that I guarantee you there were 7 people that some of them were not checked in. And out of that 1 intro, you had 4 trials. So that's what tells me it's wrong. When I see this, like a jump or spike in a number like that, like this, it tells me that something is not entered correctly, or a process was done incorrectly. So this does not mean you did a good job. This actually means you did a bad job, because somebody was not checked in. And if people aren't checking in, this creates a liability, because unless they've signed the waiver at home, and they don't check in, there's the issue. I have somebody on the floor with an unsigned waiver, and that creates a liability issue. So we need to make sure that's keeping track of. Plus, it helps your numbers. It gives you a clearer picture of what's going on and where you need to go. 4 trials from that, and then out of that, you had 3 enrollments. On the whole, these numbers are generally low. Appointments, you're going to have 80% of the people that are doing appointments show up. Let me see if I can open up monthly stat sheet. So here's my goals, my typical standards for these. You want to have 80% show up rate. I want to have I want to have a 90%. Ignore this top one. This top one doesn't exist anymore. I'm going to have a 90% show up rate from appointments to intros. 90% show up rate. I want to have at least an 80% of people that take an intro sign up for our trial lesson. This gives you the wiggle room to deny students that are not quite ready. It's going to happen. Very rarely do I have this at 100%, but it's mostly in the 90s. Conference percentage, these are all, this should be 100% of your intros. This is back when we used to talk with each parent right before they sign up, so that's really not there. Enrollments from enrollment conferences should be 100%, but what I'm looking for is I want to see your percentage of enrollments from appointments. So this is going to be like if you have say 10 appointments and your enrollment percentage from appointments is 60%. I know that if I have, say it's a killer month, 10 appointments and it's the 10th, you have 10 appointments set up, your 60% sign up rate from appointments, I can already say and budget that, hey, this month we already have 10 appointments. I know that 6 of those students are most likely going to sign up already. So it helps me kind of see where we're going to go. So what I was talking about, that driving analogy, If you're staring at the steering wheel, if you're just staring at your number, this number, that's staring at the steering wheel. Knowing what these numbers tell you allows you to see the road in front of you. If you are looking at, if you know your percentages and you're at a 70% or like I said, 60%, that's my goal for that, 60%. And I have 10 appointments by the 10th, I know that I'm gonna have around 6 sign up off that. That's fantastic. That's what I want. I also want to know your enrollments from your trials. This is just to tell you how your trials are doing. I am around 90%. That's where I think you should be. 90%. If they're trying it, and honestly, it should be 95%. If they're trying an intro and you are selling them the way that they should be, you're serving them the way that they should be, you're giving them a ton of attention, there is no reason why they're not going to be pumped up and jazzed for that 2 weeks and enroll. The only reason why they wouldn't be able to enroll is if something happened. They had a conflict in schedule or something. So these are your sure bets. If they do a trial and they do not sign up, they should go on a special list. A special list that is, these are people that are highly motivated to sign up, but because of other circumstances, did not sign up. And maybe in 3 months, you can reach out to them again. Man, I really missed having you in class. I loved it. Thank you for taking the 2-week trial. If you'd like to, come back in, try another 2 weeks on me. I'd love to have you come in here and get started because you're really talented and I believe you have a lot of potential. That's how you can keep track of those students. But this percentage, this enrollment from trials should always be high. When I look at March and I see a 40%, and this means that we dropped the ball on serving those trial students. Make sure that they were just blown away with the service. When you come in here on Friday and you said, hey, I want to have a successful school, I want to make a difference, these numbers tell you that we are failing at that, because we are not making a difference. We are just doing subpar, and that's not what we're capable of doing. So that's why I'm saying I'm looking at these numbers and I'm getting very concerned. So let's go over these reports. How did I get these numbers? How do I know what's going on? And I'm going to tell you what you do with these reports. So on the dashboard, you're going to have the operations section. And the operations, I added all of these reports. Intros, reserve, trials per month, enrollments per month. Accurate student count is the one that you're used to. And then cancellations per month. I even added a dropped members last month, and this is by the rank. So this way you can see a trend of when they're dropping. So intros. I made it to where it says intros this month. And so from here, these are all the appointments that you have scheduled in the introductory class. It tells you that they've all RSVP'd, which means that they've scheduled an intro. They wouldn't be on this list if they weren't RSVP'd. But attended, no, yes, no, 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 no. That means these people from the 12th on down to the 2nd have not showed up. So, or they were not checked in. I have a feeling they just were not checked in. Now, here you actually have two of the same, Kendall Sky Butler. So instead of having 8, you have 7. So let me change that. I think I have April 8, you have 7. There you go. That'll change your numbers a little bit. So here's how you use this report. 1, how many appointments do I have? You count them up, make sure there's no duplicates. Somebody duplicated on here, which is weird. So I have 7 appointments. You would go in and you would put 7 appointments. That's simple. I mean, you just know that you have 7. As a matter of fact, I think I'm probably going to go back to using that monthly stat sheet again. I'm going to make some adjustments to this so that way it reflects the numbers that I'm looking for. Just because it's a little off. It's my old stat sheet. But anyways, I'm gonna go back to that. And so every day you would go in, you would just look and see what appointments you have. It's just really cool. But here's what you do with this report. Remember what I said. Knowing these numbers is one thing. Knowing what to do with them is a completely different thing. And this is where managing the school comes into play. You can just get it, you could just look at these numbers and be like, all right, well, I have 8 appointments. That's it. Or you can look at this and say, okay, I have, 6 no-shows. So what do I do? Or 5 no-shows on here. What do I do with these? As a matter of fact, this one is today and it's at 6:30. So Eli Rogers. So if they didn't show up, remember, if you're getting on here every day and you see that somebody didn't show up yesterday for an intro, this is the perfect opportunity. You click on their name. This is the 12th. Click on their name. Click on the person. Click on the email and send them an email. Or actions. Send an email template right here. Blank email. Say, sorry we missed you. Hey, whatever the kid's name. Really sorry we missed you for your intro. I was really looking forward to it. If something came up, totally understand. Life happens. I would love to see you back in here. I've included a link that you can click on that will make it easy for you to reschedule. That link is really just your reserve your first class link, right? So that's where people would reserve right there. Click that, copy that in there, paste that in there. Really looking forward to seeing you again. Hopefully you can reschedule. If you need any help, just give me a call or shoot me an email. Glad to help you. Send. There you go. There's that. So again, operations. Intro reserved. So that after I take care of my introductory lessons, or I'm sorry, not my introductory, after I take care of my missing in actions, I'm on this report. I'm looking to see who do I have coming in, making sure I know their name. Today, if the student comes in and you say, hey, is this Eli? Eli, I'm so happy to see you. I've been looking forward to this all day. That immediately makes them and the parent like, wow, they really know me. Just like I was talking about before, when you're looking at when someone's when you go into Berry Hill Chiropractic, you walk in and someone I've never met before. Hey, Larry, how you doing? Wow, doing good. Haven't seen you in forever. Yeah, because I only go in there like once every 6 months. But glad you're in. Hey, how you feeling? Is that neck doing good? I'm like, wow, you remembered that I had a neck issue. So it makes me feel valued. I know they don't remember that, but I know that they took the time to look it up. I know that they were concerned enough about making an impression on me that they took the time to educate themselves. And that means a lot to me. As a consumer, I want to know that I'm valued. You're going to take that time, that you're going to pay attention to me. Now, if I'm a parent, that's even more so, because I want to make sure that you are prepared to work with my child, that you are prepared, that you're going to put in the time. Because remember, this is their first introduction to our school. And if we don't oversell them, if we don't overserve them, we are failing to make that difference. That child could walk out the door and never come back in because we failed to serve them and show them what the martial arts is about. And we are ambassadors of the martial arts. I know I'm speaking to the choir, but you said you wanted to make a difference, so this is how I do it. The second report, trials per month. So what I would do at the end of the month is I would print out report 1 and print out report 2, and then you'll cross-check them, which is cool. You're going to cross-check these students. This lets you know when they're due to sign up. These are everybody who this month in April decided to take a 2-week test drive. 4 people, just 4. We had 8 people on that list, 7 people on that list, and we only have 4 people on trial. Which is scary. That means that we're doing intros and we're not turning them around to trials. So this tells me that if I go through this list and I have that first list out, anybody who's not on this list, I should be contacting those people to say, hey, I really hope you enjoyed your introductory lesson as much as I did. I would love to have you come in here and do a 2-week test drive. It's a really easy way for you to come in and really kind of see what the school is about. Very simple. I mean, that's really what it is. I'd love to have you back in here. Bada bing, bada boom. Hopefully they come in. Some will, some won't. But if we don't do anything, they won't. And that's where we're at. So this is going to help you increase those incoming numbers, which is, what we need. We really need those. And the percentages are telling me that this is not getting done. And so this also tells you when they're due, when their membership ends. So these two have completed their 2-week trial, and I should have already, if I was in here, I would see these people and I would just touch base with them towards the end of their trial and be like, hey, really hope you're enjoying your 2-week trial. If there's anything you need, I'd love to have you guys enroll. If you guys want to enroll, you can click on this link and I'll show you where those links are. But you can enroll right from your Member Connect, portal, so that way you can, easily enroll. Now, if it's a family and there's 2 people, or a family like Dawn, she gets a special price. So I would, be like, hey, just see the front desk. That way I can make sure that you're charged properly, or that you're getting the right rate, or you're getting your family discount, stuff like that. So that way they know they come to the front desk. What you're doing is you're prepping them to come up to the front desk. And that way, okay, hey, when I see them, I need to go to the front desk and get them signed up. That's what I would do with these 2. If they're overdue and they haven't signed up, they haven't enrolled, I would be contacting them. I mean, did Braden Gwen sign? Let me see. Yeah, so Braden Gwen, he completed his 2-week trial on the 19th, and it's the 25th. So he completed it last week, 25th, and he hasn't enrolled yet. So Braden would be one of those people that I would have already contacted. Like Monday, this is what I'm saying. On Monday, this is why 2 o'clock is needed, because these numbers tell you to do stuff. You click on him. Hey, okay, I should probably contact him. He hasn't signed up. I really hope you enjoyed your 2-week trial. I really love to have you here enrolled. Just let me know if there's anything I can help you with, or any questions I can answer for you. If you're not planning on signing up, just let us know, so that way we know. If you were unhappy for any reason, just let us know, so that way we can make improvements to what we're doing. So you just do your best to get as much information out of them as possible. Either get them to enroll, or get them to say, oh yeah, we were going to enroll this week, but Braden got sick. He's not feeling well. And then, then it could be like, okay, yeah, absolutely no problem. Here, just come back in, whenever he's feeling better. And then if you got that email, sorry, I muted it because I had to sneeze. If you got that email from a parent, then the next obvious thing would be to send a bomb to them. Hey, Braden, I heard you were not feeling well, man. I'm really sorry. I just wanted to say that, you showing a lot of talent in martial arts. I'm really, really proud of you. And if you go no further in martial arts, if you decide you don't want to do it, man, I'm still super proud of you, and I was blessed to be able to work with you. I really, really hope that you can come back in. But first, man, please take care of yourself. Get some rest. Get lots of fluids. Maybe milk it a little bit. Play some video games. Ha 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 ha. But I really, really hope hopefully our paths cross again soon. All right, man. Blessings to you. I'll be praying for you. Have a good day, and feel better. Okay. Bye. Boom. There you go. That's your bomb. And so that way, parents told you he was sick. You immediately got on a bomb with him. And then hopefully after they're done, because the parents said, oh yeah, we're coming back after he feels better, then we can sign him up. If you want to take it a step further, you get that information, you go to his overview, you create a note, and you say, this is a general note, and you say, emailed for 25/18. There you go. You say responded. Okay. Parent said he was ill and will sign up after he feels better. Perfect. And then sent a bomb, wishing him well, wishing him well. There we go. And then you can put the date, /25, whatever. And so now that's on his account. That's a note. You can save that. So now what happens is at the end of the month, when you're looking at this, at the end of the month, you see that he's on there, and you're like, I remember emailing him and talking with his parents. You click, and you go to the notes, and it'll be under here. You're like, oh, okay, yeah, I remember that, because as we grow, it's going to be harder to remember, all those people. So that's how I would use that. That note process really, really helps. Okay, so that's your trials. Report. That's your number 2 report. Like I said, that's where I get, number 2, my trials. That's where I get those. But it's not just these numbers. Those numbers tell you something. They tell you what to do. Okay, so this report tells you to check these people to make sure that they signed up. If they didn't sign up, and this is a good indication that they didn't sign up. And that also tells you another thing. If they did sign up and that's off, that should be on. That needs to be on. So we need to turn it on. But contact these people because they're overdue. They should be enrolling. The longer we wait to contact them, the less likely they are to actually enroll. And if they're not going to enroll and you ask them, hey, just let us know if there's anything that you were unhappy with, maybe a parent writes back and says, yeah, it just wasn't his thing. He wasn't motivated. He didn't really feel like he was learning anything, or, we just felt that it was too much play and not enough work. Or, we went in there a couple times and you guys didn't even know his name. So those are important bits of information that we can get from the parents. And these people due to sign up, lets you know that, hey, I should be on top of those people. Hey, get in there and do something. So that's report number 2. Report number 3, which is right here, is enrollments by month. So we know that from the previous list, Dawn was on there. She signed up, and so did Claire. Great. And I have a third, Kendall Sky Butler. I know she was on your intro list, so I know she signed up, so we're good there. But this just kind of lets you cross-check, to see who enrolled versus, you can go back and cross-check them with one, with the first report and the second report, and just see that they're on there. Now, I'll tell you, when I did this, I printed out all these reports, and when I cross-checked them, I found that there was some people on them, especially in the previous months, that were not on the trial report and they were not on the intro report. They just signed up. So this means 2 things. One, either they were lost in the system and they just finally connected when they wanted to enroll, or 2, they just walked in or came in from a while ago and just decided just to enroll because they've already been through the intro process or been through the trial process. So those can happen, and that's fine. You just have to know what those people are. Okay. This also lets you know that if they have their document signed, which is really important, and then if we have their email, very important too, that we have these people's email, that our students, we have every student's email. If we don't have their email, that's a problem. We need to get their emails and make sure that they're able to be in contact. Um, with these, since they're enrolled, I typically would do this the day or day after they enroll. So if you're on top of this report every day, you'll see new people enrolling, and they'll be added to the bottom of the list, right? So like if somebody enrolls today, they'll be added as April 25th, and I would click on them, get their email address, and I would contact them and say, hey, welcome to our school. I just wanted to reach out, or do a bomb. I just wanted to reach out. I know you've received a couple of these from me before, but I just want to say thank you for choosing us and believing in us. It really, really means a lot to us. And, just kind of thank them for being part of our family. That's also a good opportunity for you just to remind them, just so you know, that all of your tuition will be coming out on the 25th of every month. It'll all be automatically deducted from the card you have on file. If for any reason you need to change that card or update your information, you can do it from your member portal, and then you can make sure that this little lightning bolt is on. If that lightning bolt is on or off, you click on this and hit send, and it'll send them their login credentials. And you just say, hey, if you need to just go here, this is your portal to where you can control your membership. All your information on your membership. You can enroll for things like summer camps and parent night outs, or special events. So it's a really important place to go to, and that's so just make sure you have that. Just thank them. Like I said, thank them for being a part of the family, because it's important that we show appreciation. Back to the reports. Report number 4 is what you're is what you're used to, the accurate student count. So again, like I said, this report is about what it tells you, not about just these numbers, this 165 and this here. What this tells you is if they've paid, if their auto pay is off, and like Lily's. So Lily Carhart, I caught this morning and I fixed it, but she aired out. There was a big red thing here that said error. When I'm looking through this helps me kind of see, okay, hey, there's an error. Why was there an error? I clicked on it. I went to the financial tab, and I noticed she had 2 cards in here. They're both ending with the same card, but one expired in February of 2/20, and the other one is here. But the other one that aired out because it had a big caution sign next to it, that was the primary card. So that means every time it tried to do the auto pay, it was charging to a card that no longer existed. And so that should have been caught in February. They paid again in March. But they paid March's bill on April 9th. So nearly 20 days later, they paid that bill. Well, then April 20th came around. That card was still marked as primary, and it tried to charge it again, and it aired out. So because it aired out, it shuts off the auto pay because it's trying to pay from a card that doesn't exist anymore. I deleted the card. I removed it. But because this is so late, it's, and many times it's 5 days late or more, and because there could be some confusion with them because they just paid April 9th, we want to make sure that we contact them and just let them know that, hey, this is what's happening. I noticed that your card, you had a card that expired on in February, and you got on and you made another payment. You added another card, but it wasn't changed to the primary card. As a result, April 20th tuition did not go through, and we need to, if you want, I can charge that from our end, or you can take care of it next time you come in. Just let us know. And then we're gonna place your this new card as a primary card, so all your tuition will come out on that date, or on the 20th of every month, or whatever it is. Yeah, the 20th of every month. So we just want to touch base with people before we just switch stuff. they'll write you back and be like, yeah, absolutely, just set it on auto pay, we're good, and charge this month's tuition. Then you do it. We just don't want to assume that that is the issue. And I don't do it. Like, I recognized a problem this morning and I didn't do it just because there might be an issue with this person that you are knowledgeable of that I am not. So I'm not going to presume things, but that's what I can see happened. And so just like that, I mean, for most situations, I am just going to let you take care of all this stuff because you are in the know and I am not. But when I see an error that raises an eyebrow for me, and you should be able to pick those things up. Being in the numbers, being there, looking at them, focusing on them, will help you kind of go through them and make sure that everything is where it needs to be. It's just all about keeping track of the numbers. It's not about what the numbers read, it's about what they tell you. Cancellations by month, this is the fifth thing that I look at. And like right now I have it set to January. I'm going to change this. So report, I'm going to edit, and if ever you see something like this, you can just do this month. That way it's always the month that you're on. And I'm going to refresh that. And I'm going to save report. I'm saving it, modifying the current report, and hit save. So what this does, this just kind of lets you see what program people are dropping from, and then what's the reason. Now I want to caution you because it says 17, but you'll notice there's duplicates in here. And the reason why is because when some memberships are created, it will create them not just 1 but 2 months out. So it'll create this month and next month's. And when they re-up, it does the same thing, but it just always keeps a month ahead. So some people, when you go to drop, like Nathalia, she just has 1, but Parker Blair has 2. So I go through and I count 1, 2, 3, 4. She's on here twice. Okay. 5, 6, 7. 8. A second. 9. 10 and 11. But because these are hyper, I don't count hyper. So we're at 9. So we have 9 drops this month. And so I think in April, let's look. Yeah, I have 10 on here. So, and that's because Dylan was a student, so that affected the student count, so he was 10. So that's where I get that number. But it lets you know too, I mean, I've adjusted these two, so we want to try to use administrative drop as least as possible. Our drop reasons now, let me see if I can find them on here real quick. Look up codes, drop reasons. I have another class at this school, another class at a competing school, didn't like the instructor, distance from work, didn't fit my schedule, price is too expensive, membership upgrade. This is if we move somebody from, if we cancel one membership, like a Little Dragon membership, because a kid's class, we'd put this as a reason, membership upgrade. The administrative drop is kind of like a generic one. I want to stop using that. They lost interest. There's another sport, and they're on vacation, and there's no return date. Because I want to make sure that we differentiate between freezes and cancellations. If someone just says, "Hey, I'm going on vacation. I don't know when I'll return," that is that's a cancellation. That's not a freeze. So that's why we have that. And if there's other things in here or if there's other things that come up that are not in here, let me know. That way I can add them. And that way they're on there. So operations, cancellations by month. This month, this kind of gives you kind of an overview of what. Now, what can you do with this? What does this report tell you? So it tells me that right now, I see the only difference is I have somebody who's lost interest. what they were in Little Dragons class. Why did they lose interest? So maybe if I had several of those on here, or you know, too expensive or whatever, I can reach out to that person and be like, hey, and I noticed you said you had lost interest in classes. Could you let me know what specifically you didn't like, or what made you lose interest, or something? Oh, the class was just too hard after I got to a certain rank, or whatever. Or I just felt like I wasn't learning anything new. Um, that information lets us um, kind of it tells us that we should change our curriculum a little bit, or how we teach it, or something. Our dynamics in class, our morale is going down, or whatever. So it gives you a lot of information versus just, hey, administrator dropped, they just quit. We want to know why they're quitting, and then we want to fix it. And then, of course, like I said, you can email, you can bomb, hey, I'm sorry to see you go. If somebody's moving, I'm really sorry to see you guys move. You guys are really a valued part of our school. If you go, hey, would you mind, if you felt that we did a good job, would you mind, writing us a review? Just let us know, how we're doing, or let other people know, how to find us, or what to expect if they decide to join us. So stuff like that. There's things you can do with this information. This is really important information. The last report is another one. I just created this one. It's going to give you the drops and then their ranks. So in this one, and this is January, so I'm going to edit this to say this month. This month. All right. Boom. Okay. So, with these drops, this is going to give you kind of like an overview of what ranks people are dropping on. Now, for some reason, I don't know why, but like Weston Robinson, Peter Nagy, Gabe Vasquez, they're all had access to the black belt program, which I don't know why. So that's an issue. I need to figure out why people have that. But anyways, you can see, I would just disregard these because I'm not concerned. The previous one tells me who I need to pay attention to, who has quit. This tells me what ranks. So honestly, I'm almost ignoring most everything on this side. I just want to make sure there's no duplicates. And then what I do is I'm going to go through and look at, okay, so in the kids classes, I have 3 in the beginner classes, or beginner kids class, and then I have 2 Brown seniors. Gabe Vasquez, for health reasons. You can't avoid that. That's just part of it. But another Brown senior, Sid Pawa. That's an issue. So in my Dragons class, white, yellow, orange, purple. This is year 1 students when they should be the most excited. The Nagis, obviously there's a reason why they're gone. So you disregard those. But it'll show you your trends. What can you do with this? What does this report show you? If you wanted to, you can create a list of every month. At the end of the month, you print this list out and you mark down the belts that quit. Now, once you do this for several months, you're going to start to see kind of like a trend. You'll start to see, okay, I have lots of white belts. At the end of the year, you're going to have a whole, like at the end of December, when you and I need to sit down and kind of go over curriculum review, this is the list that I would pull out. I would pull out this list that says, okay, this entire year, we have had a crap ton of advanced belts quit. Now, on par, that's when a lot of them do quit. But if we're having 30, 40 advanced belts quit, that's our failure. That's our failure to provide them a clear vision to black belt. Or you look at who's teaching the class. What's going on? Do we need to make more classes? Is there too many advanced students in the class? Like I was there when I walked in on Monday during the advanced class. I was there for 5 minutes, and I had Luke Cox's dad and Sal. They were talking to me. I asked them how classes were doing, and Sal was like, "Great." His attitude's always great. Um, but Mike, he was like, "Yeah, I just want them to work harder." you know, uh, he felt the classes weren't, the advanced class for him wasn't working hard. I looked at the katas that they were doing, and they were sloppy. So that's part of it. So when I see these, and the trends that I saw from January to now, is you have a lot of advanced ranks and a lot of beginner ranks. That's the trend leaving. So that's what's going to enable you to kind of to see all that stuff. So those are the reports that I created, and like I said, that's a good start. If you work on those reports, if you come in, focus on your 2-4 or your missing in action students, then you focus on your appointments, the people who miss the appointments, contact those people. If you focus on your trials, kind of touch base with them, overserve them a little bit, really kind of show them the ropes. Make sure that your leads, when they come in, they know who are the red alert students coming in. Like, hey, these students, we want to make sure if they come in that they're really excited. That's another reason why I need you there too, because especially these missing in actions, the earlier we get those emails out or those bombs out to the parents. If a parent comes home from work, sees that email, and this is what happens 90% of the time for Susan down in Spring Hill. She's in there early, and she's getting these out, and that day they will show up. If you do these at night, if you do these on the weekend, remember, inertia takes over. It's now brought to their attention at night. They wake up, they go to work, they have a bad day, or they just get caught up with work. When they come home, they don't even think about it because it's too far removed. The timing is crucial. We want to get these out as soon as I can. That's why this is the first thing that I do when I get in. I'll look at these. I'll go through this first thing. Send out all those emails, because hopefully today I'm going to start whittling that down. Out of the 19 people that you send a bomb to, you might have 5 of them come in today. Fantastic. They won't tell you, hey, I'm coming in. They'll just show up because, oh, wow, they miss me. Or, yeah, we haven't been in a while. Life takes over, right? Life takes over, and it kind of gets them to a point where they're like, crazy. So this is why 2 o'clock is essential. This right here, main thing, needs done. Then after that, I'm going to go to what are my setup appointments today? What do I have coming in? Let me look over my trials. Let me look over my intros. How am I doing on intros? Has my intros come back in and signed up? If they haven't, well, I should reach out to them. If I have kids on trial, when are they due to convert to a member? Okay, if they've already supposed to convert but they didn't, well, let me contact them. Simple. If they're shortly ready to sign up, maybe you should just kind of put them on a list and say, okay, when these people come in, I need to touch base with these people. Write them down on a sticky note. I don't care how you do it. Just write them down. So that way when these people come in, I need to touch base with them. Hey, how are you enjoying lessons? I think you guys are doing great. Or, hey, I notice he's struggling a little bit with his focus in class. Here's what we're going to do to correct that. You'll notice some of the things that we do, we'll constantly look at them when we're talking to them. Hey, focus your eyes. And so that way, a parent is listening to you, right? Talk about how your plan on correcting something, and then they're immediately going to see value in it. They'll see that, wow, they recognize a problem, and they should have already contacted you about this or talked to you about this during the intro. So you kind of already know, and that's something you can also put in your notes. But then they have an action plan to try and fix it, to help it. So heck yeah, I now see value in this, in martial arts, in training. It's not just the kids out there playing. From Lance's description, that's kind of what I've been getting is that people are viewing this as more of play. And with the numbers, I can kind of see that I would concur, because people that perceive value in training stick around, and your trend is saying that people are not seeing value in it anymore and they're starting to leave. February, March, April, pop, all down. That's a scary one. So we want to make sure that we're on top of these. It's going to get worse before it gets better. I understand that this is we have summer coming up, and I understand we're going to lose some. It's inevitable, but we have to get on top of these. We have to keep track of our numbers, and so all of these reports are going to help you keep track of your stuff. And now, this is a start, and I haven't even begun to show you your 2, 4, 6 week or 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 week program that you're going to have to do, because I feel if I was to introduce the 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 week program, it would be way too much for you to understand. This here, these 5 reports are going to show you how to keep your students, how to make sure you're on top of every appointment that is set, every intro you do, every trial you have, every enrollment you make, and make sure that you can overserve them so they will stick around. It's going to help acquisitions and retentions. And those are the 2 main areas of the job: acquisitions and retention. If you do these, your numbers will grow. They will grow. You'll see them grow. Like I said, summer's coming up. These numbers are going to drop. But these will start to improve. This, you'll see a drop. But if we can disregard summer freezes from this is why I put freezes separate from cancellations. So you should see that your freezes will go up, but your cancellations will go down. Once that happens, then I can do a separate calculation based on cancellations versus the total student account minus freezes, and then it should come up with an accurate retention rate. So like I said, when you do these numbers, when you do this stuff, these improve. I look at this, and when I see these, this tells me how the school is doing. This tells me that the school is doing very poorly. I'm not sugarcoating it either. This is poorly. If I was looking at the school and knowing that it wasn't mine, I would say within a year that they would be shutting down because of this here and this here. The school can only sustain so much, right? And like I said already, and I don't know if you believe me when I say this or not, but Danny and I are not making money from the school. We're not. And so we're living off of t-shirt money, and we're living off of summer camp money. So I have 3 summer camps that are maxed out. People paying $150 per person, 20 people. Do the math. $3,000 per camp. So I have $3,000 to live off of, or $9,000 to live off of until our numbers pick up. That's not a lot. And accumulation so far of lost revenue, I have over $3,100 of lost revenue. I'm now taking $3,100 per month loss. These should be January, February, and March. I should see a surplus. I should see positives here, not negatives. This should be, I gained, 400, 800, 2,000. March and April should be some of our biggest months because of tax season. People get those refunds and they start doing things for their kids. Then, because of this, that allows us to have that 20, 30% drop and not be hurt. we don't have any padding. We lost all of our wiggle room. We lost all of our buffer uh, because of our numbers since like August of last year. It should be August, September, October, November. It should be up, right? Our numbers have gone down, and because of this, the school is in a crisis mode. It should look of course it should look like this right here from August of last year. Boom. That's what I should hit. And then what happens is summer's going to hit and it'll probably drop down to these numbers right here. February numbers, maybe December numbers, but I doubt it. So February or January, February, March, April, I always see an uptick. And then you have a little dip. It'll go down to about here, and then through the summer, August, September, even July. Sometime last year, July, we had a lot of students come in. Then it starts going up again, and so by the time July, August, right here, as you can see, July. July, right here, August, September, October, November, December, then I should see another uptick, and then another uptick again. So you get this wave. You get this up, drop in the summer, come back up. Then you have this up, then drop in the summer, come back up, and then up. And so you have this like almost like a shark tooth type of growth. That's what I look for when I see a healthy school. I don't have the same reports that I have for you because I just created them yesterday, but that'll help you kind of visualize what I see, as being one of those issues. I want to see this graph, not the downturn, because the way it's looking now is you're going to have a downturn, and then sharp downturn, and then kind of like staying stationary, and then another step down, stationary, and then down because we're not growing. We need those. This shows me the growth of the school. When I see it going down, it's the shrinking of the school. It's just a visual thing you can see. So anyways, I hope, Richard, that this will kind of give you an idea of why 2 o'clock is where you need to be. We said 3 o'clock to accommodate, but that obviously hasn't been working. So 3 o'clock, I would love to say, yeah, just do 3, but 3:30, it's something I can't do. I can't. So the school can't. And my income, Shelby's income, Lance's income, and your income is dependent on that. And so it's at a point where my hands are tied. I wish I can sugarcoat this for you and make you feel good and fuzzy. I love you like a brother, but I need this fixed. If it isn't fixed, if we cannot figure this out, if you are just you just can't get in there, and you can't make any adjustments, you can't make any concessions, and it's just, if you can't do the job, you can't do the job. We'll have to put you out a lead instructor, and we'll have to adjust pay, put you at an hourly rate, and then I have to find somebody else to manage the school, because this is the stuff that needs to be done. It's a lot more than what is maintaining. A couple bombs is what I would consider maintaining. But I hope that you can see numbers like this and understand why I'm kind of panicking right now. Because like I said, everybody's pay is going to be affected. Everybody's. Danny, I don't have any more to squeeze out of me. Now I can squeeze a little bit from Spring Hill, but I can't too much, because it's pretty tight. But I need to increase numbers. I need to make sure that this goes up, and this goes up. I cannot continue to lose money like this. 3,000. Just to put it in perspective, I'm losing per month your salary. So that's a lot. And so we need to fix it. I want to help you, but I need you there too. So I hope this helps you, and if it doesn't, please talk to me. Please call me. Please reach out. If you need me to, I will gladly get there at 2 to sit there and kind of walk you through all of this for as long as you need to. And so that way you can kind of get used to and accustomed to doing these numbers. After we get back up, after we get where we need to be, then we can talk about adjusting that time a little bit. But 3 is the earliest I would be prepared to ever accept coming in there. 3 is the latest. Anything past 3 is just too much. I don't even think 3 is stretching it. 3 would require you to do a lot of this stuff at home. Why am I not saying you should do that now? Because we said that before, and it's just not getting done. So we need to have it. We need to have it done. So yeah. Any questions? Just give me a call. I hope this helps. I know it's long, but that's part of it. All right, brother. I will talk to you later. We can recap on Friday just to see if you have any questions. All right. Talk to you later. Bye.